Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a review of the Betty Jean Shroud collaboration. It's Freakin Bats palette of this beauty right here. There's a couple shades that I haven't worked with as in depth as I would like to, so we're going to do a look and then we're going to go over swatches of each look. I'm going to talk about the shades and show you a couple of other looks that I've done with the palette and how they performed. First, I just want to take a quick second and introduce myself for anybody who's new. My name is Haley. Here are my socials, and this is my realm of creativity, where I mainly focus on makeup and fantasy related things. So if that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing and becoming a companion on my makeup quest. Now let's get into the video. I haven't really gotten to play with, I think the only shade I haven't played with is Dairy a whole lot. I've used it once, and then Apparition. I think those are the only two shades I haven't actually put on my eyes in some capacity. So I know exactly what I'm doing. Hopefully it works out, fingers crossed. And yes, I'm just going to, I just like spent so much time doing my hair and now I'm gonna like fuck up my bangs. It's fine. Such is bang life. I really need to get like those like special clips that don't like dent your hair or anything. Just priming with my Milani eyeshadow base. This has worked well with these shadows. Taking that all over my lid and up where my brow should be but isn't, because I shaved my tail off, which has honestly been one of the best decisions I've ever made, considering I didn't really have a traditional tail anyway. It doesn't bother me. So I am going to, I'm just taking a pointed brush and I'm going to go into Dairy. My goal is to make a very like rounded shape out here, feathering it in ever so slightly, maybe with Spooky, and then putting Apparition on the inside. That is my goal. It's gonna extend a little bit underneath. I know, who am I never do eyeshadow underneath my eyelid. I don't know why, I just wanted to do that today. So wow, that is very pigmented. I did use this once to deepen a look very sparingly. It is a very powdery formula. There's a lot of kick up in the pan, which is fine. Just trying to get these even. Taking that under my eye like that. Like, I don't know, little bat wings or something. That was very easy. I am very impressed with this pigmentation, and I don't think I have like another like plummy, eggplanty color in my collection. I have other purples, but I definitely don't think that I have anything like this color in particular. And now I'm gonna just take a clean brush and trying to find a clean brush. Just go softly around this edge and feather it in just a little bit. Just like that. I don't want anything too diffused. Oh, that blends lovely. I'm just like barely taking this into my crease, just like right up here. Just like barely. This color blends like a dream. It's not patchy at all. I'm gonna take just a little bit, it's the smallest amount, just the smallest amount of Spooky with Dairy, and just go right here. Gorgeous. Just dipping ever very, 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 very lightly between the two, going on the edge just like that. I might want to add a little more of I think I'm going to add a little more Dairy over here, because the shapes of my eye are getting a little too far away from each other. But that's not the shadow's fault, that's definitely my fault. Just wham that in my eye. I found when working with these eyeshadows, it makes you look like you have a sexy bruise. I'm really just trying to keep the shape as centralized as I can. I'm just bringing everything in like a very light amount. I'm just taking like the smallest amount of spooky at a time. Just because I want the majority of the color to be dairy and then apparition. Appartition? Did I say apparition? Is it apparition or appartition? I'm not a spooky kind of lady, but I am a Betty Jean kind of lady. She is one of the main reasons, not main, but a huge inspiration to me and why I started my channel was Betty Jean. Watching her really helped me kind of cultivate my own style of makeup and how I like things on my face, which was a big ego boost for me, because for a long time I liked doing my makeup. I just didn't really like how it was like looking on me when I would do it. It never looked right. My face always looked too down, and I just didn't like it. And I started watching her and seeing where she was placing things, and I started doing it on myself, and I was like, I actually am starting to feel myself. I kind of like this. And very, very slowly I just got up more confidence and more confidence and more confidence until I started my channel. And it was because of the techniques I was watching her do. And so when she announced this, it was perfectly her. And even though I'm not like a spooky person, I just appreciate that it was what she wanted it to be. It was her palette. I didn't need it to be not spooky because I'm not a spooky person, but she is. Lots of people that I love are pretty spooky people. I think that's it. I think that's what I'm gonna leave the matte at. I think I'm just going to tap it on. I don't think I'm gonna use my NYX glitter primer as per how she always does, because I want a more diffused look inside. I don't think I want something super intense, so I'm just gonna take, oh, that's pretty. Yeah, 0 is the one that I used. I usually use it as an inner corner, and I still might today, or I might use Handbook, who knows, but I haven't used Appartation, I don't know. So I'm just taking that on the, oh, that's a gorgeous color. Oh, wow. It's like a lavender, I feel so pretty. Oh, wow, okay. It's like a gorgeous like lavender. I don't know if it has a shift. If it does, it has like a pink, peachy gold shift. Oh, wow, that's absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, it definitely has some sort of flip to it. It's definitely like a peachy gold kind of color. And definitely doing it with my finger was the right call. It's stunning and I love it. Oh my god. I feel very, very pretty right now. Oh my goodness. I don't know if this or my green look is my favorite. I've never done anything like this, like darky purple. I think that's what it is. I think it's because it's not a black. It's gorgeous. It's such a nice eggplant color. I love it. Minimal fallout. I do have some, but I always do my eyes first. So if that's not something that you do, I recommend either putting powder down if you have some, or switching it up and doing your eyes first. Like I said, it's not a problem for me because I do. I'm not switching my routine up just to please this palette. I'm doing everything how I normally do my eyeshadow, and I think you should do the same. It is still available from what I am aware of at this very moment. I know that she did not want to create this like sense of urgency I know that they're not going to be taking it away anytime soon because that is just not something she felt comfortable with. She said that in her release video, which I will link down below if you have any questions about the palette, its shade names, why she chose them, and her inspiration behind them. Oh, buddy. Her inspiration behind them as well. I am going to finish the rest of my face, and then I'm going to hop back on here and we're going to talk shade by shade and what other eye looks I did with this palette. Okay, I am back. I don't have my glasses on because I don't want to deal with reflect. I also didn't do my eyebrows. You can't see them, and I didn't feel like doing them, so there. I feel really pretty. I really love my eye look. I took a little bit of 0 and put it on my inner corner just because I really love that shade. I feel gorgeous. I was not expecting the apparition flip, but we're gonna go one by one, shade by shade. I'm going to swatch them on this arm. I have some cat scratches, so just be aware of that. First we have Handbook, which is that lime green color. I used it, it's like a slime green color. It's Handbook. It's a very creamy shimmer, very flaky, which I found in the pan. That's how it was. When I first dug into this, I kind of pressed it down, but I won't show you, but because I pressed it down. But it's a very loosely pressed. Just keep that in mind. You're not gonna get kickback, but it is going to be easy to kind of gouge. So be careful if you get this. I would just say, be cautious when using the shimmers because they are very soft, impactful but soft. I use this color as some of my graphic liner in this picture, and I really loved it. It was quite impactful. I didn't think it was going to be too different in tone from Trappa enough to use it as the base of my eye, my graphic liner, so I decided to just use that as an accent color with the liner, but I enjoyed it. Spooky I have used 2 times now, and it's like a periwinkle blue. That is Spooky. The matte formula is very dry, very pigmented. I didn't have any issues with any of the colors. I've used this in today's look and the very first look that I did. It's a very good blending shade. The colors in this palette, I think it works really well with a lot of colors. I think a lot of the other shadows. I think it's probably one of the more versatile of the colors. I think it serves a really good purpose to go in between those kind of warmer tones, like the greens, and as well as like the purples, because this is it's not a one-trick pony, but there are very specific color stories within this palette that are kind of opposite. So I think Spooky is a really good color to kind of go between the two sides of the palette. Next is this, oh, it's gorgeous, is this apparition, and it is the shimmer that I used today. I'm feeling it. It is just as flaky as the other shadows, so be careful. It's that one right there. I think it is a seriously gorgeous color. It doesn't have a strong flip, but it doesn't have a non-existent flip either. It is stunning. I love it. I love it on my lids so much. When I put it on, I was like, wow. I can't wait to play with this shade even more. Now that, like, how I usually use my palettes is a mix. So I wanted to do this review and use all the colors before pulling it in to mixing and matching with the other colors, or like my other palettes. And I cannot wait to use this with my Jackie Aina Project Pan palette, because I don't really, the jewel tone Wigglies in there is just a little too dark for me to pair with the purples as well. So to have this lighter purple go with those like jewel toned mattes, it's gonna be stunning and I can't wait. So there's that. Next we have Adams, which is the only one that I had some slight trouble with. I found that Adams faded on me when I did my initial look. I had to build it up quite a bit. It is a dark tealy green color. These are very powdery, very pigmented. A drier formula, I would say. I'm trying to think in formula what they would be close to. I was thinking maybe the Pure palette, because that is a rather dry formula and it's a pigment palette, and I'm not sure off the top of my head if this is a pigment palette or not. So I just going off of feel, it is close to that Pure Raw Beauty Christie dual-sided pigment palette. Shimmers, not the same. Those shimmers are a lot harder pressed, and there's not a lot of base color, where these are really metallic and really impactful. Next is Sam, and I used Sam on my first look. It's like a light green. It's not minty, but it's not like bright like Handbook. This is Sam right here. It's a very gorgeous color. I really love the shimmers. I love this whole palette, honestly, but like I said, it's not like Handbook, but it's not impactful. Next is Trappa. Honestly, one of my favorite colors in this entire 9-pan. It's really hard to pick, but Trappa. I did a whole like matte eye look. I'll show you. I did like a whole matte lid with a graphic liner, and I put it up, and Betty Jean liked it, and I was like, oh my god. She said it was gorgeous, and I was like, yes, thank you. Thank you. That is just a dirty, grungy, gorgeous. I don't have any other color that is that dingy, like depth wise. It's just so beautiful. Like it could be like a Lethal Shadow. Like I have, it's not Habitat, it's another color that I have. It looks kind of like this, but is a little more brown, and this is a lot more like pukey green. So they're different. Maybe I'll do like a comparison kind of swatch video, but that is not today. All right, we are on the last row, and this is probably my favorite shimmer in the entire palette, Zero. It is a beautiful periwinkle with a purple, or a purple with a periwinkle shift. It's just a gorgeous duochrome. It's just stunning. I don't know if you can kind of see that flip. It's purple, like a blue flip. I love it as an inner corner highlight. I know that she didn't want to dedicate a color to being an inner corner highlight, but I have to say it really goes with any color that, like any eye look that you could come up with. Could be Zero, could be an inner corner highlight for. Like, it is a stunning shade. I love it so much. I don't know if you'll be able to see the flip on the inside, but I love this color. I can't get enough. My desk station is covered in shimmer, because these are, like I said, they're really softly pressed, so you're gonna get a lot of flaking. So keep that in mind. Keep it in your mind. Do your eyes first, or set down powder, because it's gonna be a mess. And then we have the last matte of the palette, which I used in my look today. And I used it as a deepening color for my very first look, and it blended gorgeously. I was worried because I used a majority of Adams in my very first look and I didn't want to muddy it up, but I used it very, very lightly and it did the trick right away. You can just, I'm barely touching, I know I'm all over the place, I'm barely touching my finger to my skin, and it's just, they're so powdery, but the pigmentation is unreal, the pigmentation. I cannot wait. I have my very small list of palettes that I want, and the Shroud, like Arcana palette, Divinity, all of those are on my wish list. Mostly the Arcana and the Creepy Cute. Divinity I might just pick out singles from, but honestly I wanted to get this first because I wanted to support Betty Jean, and I wanted to kind of dip my toe and try the formula, and I am so happy that I did this so I can feel more confident in my purchase of those other palettes, because they're not cheap palettes, but I love the color story. They're really right up my alley, aesthetic wise and everything, and I want to support small businesses. That is a real passion that I have in this year. I've been trying to find small businesses in a whole bunch of other places, so that I am really, really happy with my purchase. Last color is Grim, which is like slightly darker shimmery version of Adams, I would say. Yeah, it's like a tealy blue color and is the most softly pressed in my palette in particular. The most softly pressed. It's very easy to get, like if you dig in too much in these shadows, especially in Grim, you're going to gouge it. Be careful. That's Grim. And I used Grim as the base for my graphic eyeliner, my graphic liner for the look that I did with Choppa. And that is all of the shadows. I love the look of my arm right now. I think it's stunning. I feel beautiful in my eye look today. A lot of these shades are just so special, especially to my collection. I know that there's a few people that were kind of really hating on Shroud as a company and everything because of how they handled the launch and getting palettes to everybody, and honestly that's not really I don't like to put negativity on the internet. Like I don't comment on people's things. If I don't like them, I just don't watch them. I don't like putting my energy towards negativity. But that is just me. I know people have a right to be angry about things, and they can do with their energy and their time what they want to do. This is me individually speaking about myself. I personally didn't have an issue with it because I also clowned and got this one as well, which is not anywhere near not even a little birthday candlelight up to this palette, and I waited longer for that one. So the wait time didn't bother me because I purchased it and then I forgot about it. I don't do my makeup every day. It's not something that I was missing, and I was just like waiting and waiting and waiting. It just wasn't something that crossed my mind like too often, because it's just I don't know, like, yes, I did spend money on it, and yes, would it have been nice to get it sooner? I guess I still would be in the same position that I am now, doing it whenever I got it, doing this review. So I understand why people are angry, and I understand why people were asking for refunds on both sides, this palette and the Lunar Skies palette. But I don't know. I'm just floored by this palette in particular. I personally noticed a huge difference in communication, which I think is the reason why Shroud in particular was able to ride the wave of kind of hate, because once they hired like a social media person, the amount of communication between the brand and us went up tenfold. I was getting emails every week. There was a posting on IG multiple times a week, giving updates, and I really appreciated that, and I felt like they were doing the best that they could and giving us as much information as they could when they had the time before they got the social media person. But then after, it was just, like I said, tenfold. Communication was really important, I think, to how they were perceived online versus how Lunar Skies did that, because I know that there still is a huge movement against them as a brand, and honestly, I don't think that I'm gonna do like this style review for that palette in particular. It's not a fun palette to work with. I tried to get them to work. I might try one more time as concealer for my eyeshadow base, but that's not something that I typically do. And I didn't have to adjust how I do my makeup for the Shroud palette, and I don't like having to adjust my makeup for an eyeshadow, so I am not looking forward to doing that. But I think that it is something that I want to do just so I can get a more rounded version, like more rounded idea of those shadows. I have seen people posting looks with their Lunar Skies palette, and for the most part, from what I can see, it is really kind of either a monochromatic one tone, one eyeshadow look, or it is kind of like a very simple one eyeshadow blend in the middle. That's it. The shimmer formula is a little inconsistent, but that's really all I want to speak on the Lunar Skies palette, because I just want to celebrate this right here. I can't get over how just I want to look at my eyes. I just feel stunning. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't even, I'm really happy that I picked this up, and I really hope that when people do start getting this palette, because I know orders are still rolling out, I hope that they enjoy it as much as I did, and that they realize the work that went into making this palette by hand, and just the payoff that they get in this palette. And I hope that it makes them feel as pretty as it has made me feel, and that is really all that I have. If you guys like this video, please please subscribe. If you want me to torture myself and do a video like this with the Lunar Skies palette, please comment and like. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!